Bingley. Today is the day before my interview for French nationality. I really wanted to start this vlog a couple weeks ago, actually, when I got the email telling me the days, the potential days that I could come. I could pick one of, I think, 3 different days that they offered, because I thought this would be so fun if I record the different stages. Obviously, I didn't record when I was getting my entire application together, which was a huge part of the process. Requesting all the documents, collecting all the documents, putting everything together, writing my cover letter, all of that stuff. I didn't record any of that, but I thought, you know, it might take some time before I hear back. But once I hear back, maybe I should do a video. I'm not going to give you any advice. This is not advice, because every single application, every single person who applies has a completely different scenario and their experience is going to be different. So this is not advice. Do not ask me advice. Do not send me messages asking me to help you with yours, please. I am not an expert. I'm just doing this myself. That's the only thing I know how to do is my application. But I thought it would be fun to kind of go through, I guess, just the process from my experience. I just kind of wanted to take you through this because you have been there with me since I first got my very first 1-year visa to go to France and live in France, and I lived there for 5 years, so lots of visas. This is something that I have looked forward to for years, and now that it's happening, I'm just like freaking out. I get nervous for any sort of interview. This is not something where I even need to prove myself in a way. They're gonna ask me questions. I've studied and studied to make sure that I'm ready for the kinds of questions they're gonna ask. I know very strongly, you know, why I want to be French, and I feel very strongly about it, so there's nothing to be scared of per se, but I just know that being put on the spot, being interviewed, you know, is just gonna freak me out. It's already freaking me out. So I haven't recorded anything until just now, and I'm actually, the more I'm talking about it, I think I'm starting to shake a little bit. I'm just so like, the anticipation is so high. I've been studying, so I printed out the Livret du Citoyen. It has a lot of different information that, you know, you're supposed to learn. I don't know if they'll ask me stuff from this, if it'll be completely personal, you know, questions and things like that. It's probably going to be a mix. I also know that as a spouse of a French citizen, they'll ask me fewer questions, I think, about history and things like that. They ask more of those to people who are applying by other eligibility criteria. But as a spouse, I think it's more so based on values and you know, your relationship and things like that, but I have no idea, and I'm going to be prepared for everything as much as possible. So this livret, this like pamphlet, has all kinds of stuff about France's history, France's main values. Of course, anyone who, you know, has lived in France for a time, I'm sure you know liberté, égalité, fraternité. So it has information about that, as well as information about, you know, popular French figures, from art to politics to whatever else. And of course, I have been also thinking a lot about my experiences and the things that I'm familiar with. For example, I am a literature major and I'm a reader. I have a lot of experience in classical music. So things like that, those experiences from French culture that mean something to me, I'm also kind of preparing in my mind and, you know, kind of gathering. All the stuff's there, you know, it's all stuff that is in my head that matters to me, but I just want to be ready if I'm asked on the spot a question where I need to be able to conjure this stuff up. You know, as I've said, I don't enjoy interviews. I get very nervous, so sometimes I forget the most basic and simple and obvious detail. So I'm trying to make notes, I'm trying to prepare. It's going to be a long day too. So I am currently based in New York, you might know that already. In the US, for citizenship applications, everything is centralized in Washington, DC. So I'm taking the train, which is a good 3.5 hours, I think. I have to go with my husband because I'm applying as a spouse, so you and your partner have to go. So we're both going, getting up really early. I have a day off of work. I've been practicing, I've been speaking a lot of French with my husband. We've been practicing together. He's been a huge help with quizzing me, and you know, he has a lot of knowledge about French history, French politics. I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready. I mean, I know I'm ready, but it's me. So of course, the doubt, anticipation is really strong right now. Bingley has had enough of this. As far as the process for me, I'm applying from the US. You can do that if you're a spouse. A lot of eligibilities, of course, will be for people who live in France. So it's going a little bit faster so far. I got my appointment faster than what I probably would have. I probably would have had to wait a lot longer if I'd applied from France, because there's just a lot more people applying from there. But I'm applying, you know, from here. I'm going to do my interview at the DC consulate, and then everything is centralized in France. So then, you know, whatever result from my interview will be sent to France, and the decision is made in France, and they have up to a year to make the decision. So I don't know when I'm going to be recording the next part of this video, but I did want to share just a little bit about my reflections and experience and all of that. But it could be a very long time before I actually get a result, which I hope obviously will be positive, and I hope I will be able to tell you one day in the next year that I'm both American and French, finally. A lot of people, I think, thought that I was French already because I got married, and a lot of people are under the impression that when you marry someone from another country, especially if you go to live with that person in that country, that you get that citizenship as well. Maybe there's countries in the world where that happens. I don't know, I cannot speak for every country, but for France, for the US, for all the countries that I know of, that's not the case. If you get married, usually that makes you eligible for some sort of visa. Short, long term, that all depends on a million factors, but usually as a spouse, you're eligible to apply for a visa so that you're able to reside in the country. But it's a very different thing to have a visa to reside in a country and to actually get the citizenship of that country. So now, after many years of marriage and after living in France and all of that, now I'm eligible to apply for citizenship. So I'm very, very excited. And talking about it here has actually really helped me stabilize a little bit my nerves for tomorrow, which I know is silly. I'm ready, but I'm still going to freak out about it because that is what I do.
Are you excited for me to have French nationality like you? I'm gonna be French like you. I know, I'm the only one in this house that's not French. Are you excited? No, you're just sad that I'm gonna be gone all day tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. Hamlet? Yes, you're so pretty.
Hello, welcome back. It's been a long time since I recorded those other clips. As you can see from so many differences, I have new glasses, I have new hair. I had no idea how much I had changed around my look in the past few months, but you know, there's nothing like a vlog that's stretched out along almost an entire year to remind you how much you change in a year. Those last clips that you saw were filmed in October of 2022. It is now June 2023, so it's now been almost a year exactly since I started the process of collecting all of my documents. Maybe it's been over a year. I can't remember if I started in May or June of last year to really get things together. It takes a while to figure out what documents you need, request the documents, get your translations, and all of that. That admin is now behind me for the most part because I can officially say I am now French. I officially have double nationality. I am American still, and I am now also French. I'm so happy to finally be able to say that. I'm not even sure if it's quite sunk in yet, to be honest. It doesn't quite feel real because it's been something that I've had the idea of maybe one day becoming French for so long, and then once it started to solidify and became something I really wanted to work towards, it was still a long journey. And then it's been, you know, now almost a year since I actually applied for nationality and put my foot forward and started this whole process, and now it's official. I found out just a few weeks ago, I got an email saying that my French birth certificate had officially been generated. I'm not sure how this works in other countries, but in France at least, when you become a national, even though you were born abroad, you get an official French birth certificate that has your place of birth, just like a French birth certificate would. I believe at least it looks like a French birth certificate would. I don't have a copy yet, but I will hopefully soon. That's basically when you officially are French according to their system. But I still have to request my carte d'identité, my ID, official French ID, and my passport. So I have done that. That goes back to the consulate, and I can do that here at the consulate in New York. I don't have my ID and passport yet, but I have submitted my application. And when I was there, I officially got my pamphlet of basically French nationality. So I will show you a couple of things that are in this pamphlet. I don't know if you can see, it has some text here. Come on, camera. The first page has a bunch of personal information, so I'm not going to show you that, but it's the official declaration of my nationality, the Déclaration de Nationalité. The second page is a non-personalized letter from le Président de la République, Macron. I have a pamphlet that says that I've just acquired French nationality. It has some information about the next steps, the ceremony, which I'm going to be going to tonight, which I'm very excited about, the ceremony at the consulate. Next, we have a page that's nice and laminated of the structure of the French government. And it has some extracts from the Constitution on the back. It has some information about the national powers, the local powers, kind of how that works in France, which of course I studied a lot before my interview, even though I didn't really need a lot of that information for my interview. I think you probably need more of it if you're applying in a non-familial context. If you're applying as a spouse like I was, for example, I think they don't really ask you as many political questions. But of course I studied it and I'm interested in it, so I do know some things about that already. After that is the Charte des droits et devoirs du citoyen français. And finally, the last page is a very pretty, patriotic looking page of La Marseillaise, which is the national anthem of France. So that's it. That is my, I guess, citizenship pamphlet, all of the kind of useful information that you need when you first become French. So yeah, I'm officially Franco-American, American-French. I don't really know how to describe myself at this moment in time. I do feel like this is an identity that I have been kind of assuming for years. Like, French culture has been a part of my culture because I've been married to a French person for years. We've been together for a decade, so it's definitely something that's been a part of my life for a very long time. So it's very important to me that this happened, that it's real, and I just hope that it feels a lot more real pretty soon when I have my passport. So I will probably make another little update to this vlog, maybe tonight at the ceremony if I can get even a picture or, you know, a little bit of video or something. We'll see, I'm not really sure. And then maybe I will do a final update when I get my documents so that it, you know, feels real. So I will talk to you again very soon. Hi, one last little clip for this vlog because I feel like it's the perfect way to finish it out. It's July now, early mid-July, and I officially now have my French passport. It's been about 3 weeks since I went in person for my appointment at the consulate to submit my request for my very first passport and my national ID, my French carte d'identité, and I can show you, but it's gonna be really hard to, I'll just show you the top. All of my personal information is basically the entire card, but you can see here, if it will just focus. Can you see that? Can you see where it says République Française? Je suis française. It really feels real now. I can't show you more because it just has my horrible photo where I'm not smiling. It's actually not that bad of a photo. It's not that bad, but it has my non-smiling face and all of my information. So I cannot show you more than that. And of course, the passports. This is so exciting. This is my US passport. So in case you're wondering what that one looks like. And then my new French one, which is just beautiful. They're both so beautiful. So that wraps up this vlog, getting French nationality. I hope you've enjoyed coming along this journey. I'm very glad that I recorded, even if just a little bit throughout this process, so that I can also memorialize this for myself. It's not every day that you apply for another nationality and go through the process of getting it. It's my cat scratching. Are you happy? We have the same nationality now.
Hamlet, what you doing, boo? What you doing?
A huge shout out to anyone who has followed me throughout my entire France journey. Maybe you've been following me since before I even spoke French. I hope you'll stick around for whatever comes next on this channel. Again, I have no idea. I'm kind of just playing it by ear. I have another writing channel where I talk about books and writing if you're interested in that. But this channel is going to stay more kind of general travel, lifestyle, just what I'm up to. So whatever that is, I never know. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you'll check out some of my other ones. If you're curious about my time when I was living in France, go back and watch some of the older content and stick around and subscribe if you're curious what comes next. I'm currently living in New York City with my husband and my cats. Hopefully there'll be some traveling and some other exciting things happening at one point. I'm just kind of playing it by ear, and I hope you will subscribe if you're interested to see what comes next. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon in another video. You saying bye? Good timing there. The camera's up here. Boo boo. Bingley had to say hi. Wow, he knows how to make an exit. Bye, guys.